Hello chaps, thanks for dropping by. As you probably gathered from the opening titles, today we're going to be looking at the Harley Benton SC450 Plus, which, now we've got the official name out the way, let's face it, it is a Gibson Les Paul copy, with a few differences, but we'll come to those. This guitar cost £120. There it is. Looks nice for 120 quid, doesn't it? And I know what you're probably thinking, yeah, £120, it's probably going to look okay, but it's not going to be much cop as a musical instrument. Well, let me say right off the bat, here and now, this is a good guitar. How good, we'll find out, but it is a good guitar. This, as I say, cost 120 quid. I ordered it from the German music retailer Thomann, and I ordered it Sunday afternoon and it arrived on Wednesday afternoon. In fact, it arrived so quickly that I wasn't expecting it to be delivered that day. I missed the delivery, I was out walking the dog, so I had to go to the post office this morning and pick it up. Yeah, so great service, speedy service and a good price. Now then, let's have a look at what the guitar's made out of. Well, the body is standard Les Paul fare. It is made from two pieces of mahogany. The top is a lovely piece of flamed buck-matched maple, which you can't really see in this video, but trust me, it is quite sort of lemon drop-ish looking. The neck is basically a one-piece mahogany neck, although there is a scarf joint up here where the headstock joins on, and the fretboard is, as you would expect, rosewood. Now, before all of the Les Paul train spotters start shouting at me, yes, I know that this guitar is not made from the same species of mahogany that a Gibson Les Paul standard is made from. This guitar is made from Asian mahogany, and a Les Paul standard is, I believe, made from, I think, is it South American mahogany? It's a different species anyway. And yeah, who cares, basically. This is the same type of wood that PRS make their SE guitars out of, and they've won quite a lot of accolades over the years. You know, Bernie Marsden, for example, a guy who was in, obviously, Whitesnake and the Moody Marsden Band, a guy who's had a long and distinguished career as a rock guitarist and who knows a thing or two about good tone, is happy to play a guitar, the PRS Bernie Marsden model, which is made from Asian mahogany. The top on this guitar isn't a single piece of buck-matched maple, where what Gibson would do is they would get a piece of maple with a lovely nice kind of tiger stripe grain on it, split it down the middle, open it out like that, that's why it's called buck matched, glue the two pieces together and then carve it into the shape of the top. What happens on this guitar is they'll get multiple pieces of maple and glue them together to create a slab, carve that slab into the correct shape for the top, and then put this flame maple, buck matched flame maple veneer over the top. Now, some people would regard that as cheating, but hey, I don't feel cheated. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's a more cost-effective way of doing it. The maple top on a Les Paul style guitar is there to do two things. One, to add brightness to the tone. On what would be quite a dark sounding all mahogany guitars, the maple top adds a little bit of brightness. And two, it's there to look pretty, and it does. It's probably, I think, probably more responsible way of doing it as well, because it's more sustainable. You're getting, you know, you're making more use of the scarce resources, as in the wood and so on. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that as a construction method. Just referring to my notes here, the tuners up here, we've got the unbranded vintage Cluson type copies, which are nice and smooth and stable. I'll just kind of hold this in to say, just realised they were out of shot. There you go. They have this kind of aged finish, the often colloquially referred to snot green finish, because that's how the original white tuners on an old Les Paul would discolour over the years, and it seems to be quite a thing now with Les Paul style guitars that they go for that look. It's not something I'm mad keen on, but I can live with it. The pickups are Wilkinson humbuckers, and there's quite a bit of debate on the Thomann website about whether these are Alnico or ceramic sounding magnet pickups rather. All I can tell you is that all of the documentation, all of the advertising for this guitar states that these are Alnico pickups, not the more cheap and nasty ceramic pickups. And you know, if you bought a silk shirt, even if it only cost you 10 quid, if you bought a silk shirt and it turned up and it was actually nylon, then the retailer wouldn't be able to say, well, it was only 10 quid, what do you want? You know, there are strict laws governing false advertising, especially here in the EU, and I can't honestly believe that a reputable and a large reputable company like Thomann would even risk the penalties that they would incur by indulging in false advertising. I'm prepared to give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll hear what these pickups sound like later on, but yeah, let's just say for the moment I'm going to take Thomann at their word and accept that these are Alnico magnet pickups as you would get on a Les Paul. Harley Benton, almost forgot the name of the guitar then. Harley Benton used to produce a guitar which was pretty much the same shape as a Les Paul, and if you look closely at this, obviously Gibson's lawyers have been on the phone and said, you need to change that body shape, you're infringing our copyright. And they've done so in a really, I think, imaginative way. I love the way the top shoulder here kind of curves in a little bit, and that curve just seems to flow out of the bottom there. That is really aesthetically pleasing to me. And if we look around the back, you will see, look at that neck joint there. Anybody like me who's got hands the size of JCB shovels will know that getting up the top end of the neck on a Les Paul is often somewhat cramped. Not on this guitar. It's not often that you find a £120 Les Paul copy has actually got some design improvements over the original, but I mean, I don't think that's in any way contentious to say that that gives you better top fret access than you would get on a Gibson Les Paul, and is therefore a better design feature. So there you go. Anybody that disagrees with me, deal with it. Excuse me while I just move on to the notes. Yeah, the fit and finish of this guitar, I've been over it with a fine tooth comb. It is, well, there's no other word for it, it's stunning. There are no blemishes, there are no rough edges, the fret ends are smooth, you know, you don't get that horrible kind of sharp feeling as you're moving your hand up the neck. The action is really nice and low, there's no fret buzz, there's no bends choking off, the nut is beautifully cut. It's a beautifully set up guitar. Somebody has taken some time and trouble to set this guitar up correctly. It's you know, really well done. The intonation, as I say, is perfect. Everything about the setup is, you could literally, this is exactly how the guitar came out of the box. You could take this out and gig with it right now. It's flawless. One area I often look for on this style of guitar is just this little edge up here where the fretboard meets the body on the bass side. You quite often get like a build-up of lacquer there, and that's often a bit of a giveaway that it hasn't been, you know, care and attention hasn't been lavished on it when it's been finished. Not so here. That is exactly as you'd expect to see on a Les Paul. It's indistinguishable. What can I tell you? Right, so how does it sound? Well, earlier on today I put together a little piece of music using this guitar. You're going to hear a number of sounds here. Let me just run through them. There's a clean sound, which is using the middle pickup setting. I played that through, well, all of these sounds are coming through the Vox Tone Lab that I play through all the time. And that's, the clean sound is using a Roland JC120 amp model. You're going to hear some power chords, which is on the bridge pickup setting, going through a Soldano model on the Tone Lab. The melodic lead guitar part uses the neck pickup, a little bit sort of slash kind of thing coming in there, again through a Soldano model, and then the solo at the end of this piece is also using the bridge pickup through the Soldano model, and this is how it sounds. So there you have it, the Harley Benton SC450 Plus Les Paul copy. Right, if you heard those sounds coming through the speakers from an album by any one of your favourite guitarists, then you would just think, yeah, that guy's using a Les Paul. That's what it sounds like, you know, and it's 120 quid, and it sounds like that, and it comes perfectly set up. You know, I mean, this is crazy. You know, the only question that it begs in my mind is, I've just been onto Guitar Amp Keyboard's website, and let me have a look at the price they have there. A 2015 Gibson Les Paul Traditional, which is kind of, I guess, the Gibson, the kind of version of this guitar, or this is the Harley Benton version of that guitar, if you like. That will cost you £1,299. So, you know, that's a £1,179 price difference. Why? Seriously, why? You've just heard what this sounds like. Trust me, it feels like a quality product. It's made from broadly the same materials, Asian mahogany aside, as a Gibson Les Paul, but it sounds like one, and it plays like one, it feels like one. You know, it's everything you want out of this style of guitar. Why do you need to pay that extra £1,179? The only explanation I can come up with is, well, here it is, this wristwatch here, okay, that cost me £10 from my local branch of Argos. I set this watch twice a year when we change the clocks, when we go from British summertime to Greenwich Mean Time and back again. Every morning as I'm having my first cup of coffee, listening to the news on the radio, I check to see what time it is. I check it against the Greenwich time signal that they put out on the radio, and it is perfectly right to the second. So it's a perfectly accurate watch. It cost me £10. But people will always go out and pay thousands of pounds for a Rolex. Now, they're not getting a superior chronometer for that price, what they're getting is a conspicuous display of wealth. Some might even say ostentatious display of wealth, and that is the only explanation I can think of why anyone would pay an extra £1,179 for a guitar that does nothing significantly different to this £120 guitar. There are a few areas that I would change about this. Having said all that, there are a few things I would change. The pickup selector doesn't feel like it's going to have a particularly long lifespan. That's going to get changed. And the volume and tone pots, yeah, they're not the greatest. As you turn the volume down, the sound tends to muddy up a little bit. But hey, how much is a new switch and 4 new pots? It really does kind of rile me a little bit that I would have happily paid £150 for this guitar, not £120, and they could have sorted those things out. But it's unfair really to single out Harley Benton for that, because all guitar manufacturers seem to do it. A good friend of mine has a Fender, I think it's the 50th anniversary Strat that came out in 2004, and within 6 months of him having it, all of the pots and switches had died. Or, well, all the pots and the switch had died on that as well, and he had to have them replaced. So this is by no means something that is unique to budget guitars. I just wish that guitar manufacturers would get their act together and sort it out at the factory. But that is the one fly in the ointment, really. Beautiful guitar, well worth the money. If you're after a Les Paul or that style of guitar, get yourself onto Tom Ann's website and get one of these. They are superb. Right, thanks for listening and watching, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.